The ROG Ally, Asus's answer to the Steam Deck, is finally here. I was lucky enough to get one on launch date and I've been playing with it for the past few days, trying to see how strong and how good or bad this system really is. Now, as you know, I'm a big fighting games, and one of the reasons why I got the Steam Deck and now the ROG Ally is to be able to play my favorite fighting games on the go. So in this video, we're gonna look at some of the most popular fighting games being played on the ROG Ally, and we're gonna talk about performance as well as the feel of the D-pad and the buttons. Now, before I do that, a gentle reminder to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you are notified whenever I drop a new video. Now, I want to be honest with you, when I looked at the ROG Ally for the first time, I was really worried about the D-pad. Now, the D-pad is everything, is the thing that's going to make or break a system for fighting games, right? Now, the Steam Deck, coming from a Steam Deck, I was honestly not really happy with the D-pad for the Steam Deck for two reasons. The first one is its actual location. It was a little bit far on the left, and it made to reach it and play on the D-pad for the whole time was a little bit, made my hand actually cramp, even though I have large hands. Same for the buttons, by the way. The other thing is that it's a little bit stiff. It's fine when you're playing other type of games, platforms or just, modern games, but fighting games, doing all the rolling motions for the Hadokens and Shoryukens and whatnot, it was not really comfortable. It was not really responsive for me. I wasn't able to do the same thing I would do with a normal, like a PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 D-pad. So when I got the ROG Ally, the first thing I did was actually try the D-pad, because looking at that thing, like it's a circular D-pad, it automatically gave me nightmares thinking about this is another Xbox 360 terrible D-pad. But as soon as I started touching it, this thing feels amazing. It actually is super responsive. Think of the Xbox Series X and S D-pad, but just better. It's actually one of the best D-pads I've had in a very long time, and for some reason I don't understand why a lot of reviewers were saying it's okay, it's not bad. It actually is amazing. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about the game. So the first game I'm gonna try here is my favorite fighting game of all time, the King of Fighters 15. It's a great game, and I'm also a little biased because my name is in the credits of that game, so I'm sorry if I'm bragging. But yeah, so the King of Fighters 15 runs amazingly well on the ROG Ally. So I have been playing it on this beautiful screen, and it's another thing I'm going to be talking about when I do a versus Steam Deck versus ROG Ally, and then an ROG Ally full review. The screen is amazing. This 120 Hz full HD screen, colors and everything about it, response is just amazing. It's really difficult to go back to the Steam Deck after playing on this thing. The colors are popping, the game is very responsive. Again, playing at full HD with everything on high, and the D-pad feels amazing. I can pull off pretty much everything it can do on an arcade stick or on a PlayStation D-pad. It just feels amazing. It feels amazing and very responsive. So runs great, plays great, and I'm happy I can play this game on the go. The second game I'm going to talk about here is Street Fighter 6, recently released by Capcom. This behemoth of a game is a must-have and must-play for any fighting game fan. So how does it run on the ROG Ally? Well, I did a whole video about it running on the Steam Deck and at 720p, because that's the resolution of the Steam Deck. You could actually run the game at standard or a little bit on with some combination with standard and high, and it runs at 60 frames per second. But on the ROG Ally, because it's running on a 1080p with this amazing again screen, you have to lower the settings a little bit. So I was able to get, I didn't tinker enough honestly, but I was able to get a mixture of low and standard, and the game looks beautiful. Even though it's on low in some of the settings, it actually looks better than the Steam Deck, and that's because of the screen and the colors and how poppin' they are. So the game plays amazing at 60 frames per second. If you want to play the World Tour mode, you can lower the settings to 30 frames per second and play just fine again on 1080p, and it's absolutely is a gorgeous game. The next one I'm going to talk about is a favorite game of mine, the King of Fighters 13, one of the best, the actual best 2D sprites game of all time. Now, this game did not run well on the Steam Deck. First of all, it wouldn't run by default. You have to change the Proton version to a specific version, and when you do that, you can't get the cinematics or movies on the game to play. Now, because this is the ROG Ally is a Windows system, it actually works just as on any PC. It works great, and the screen, again, running this game on a 7-inch 1080p screen looks glorious and beautiful, and mwah. Now, the next game I want to talk about is Samurai Showdown, another favorite of mine. Again, running at 1080p on everything on high, and it looks great. Samurai Showdown came out in 2019 to great reviews, and it's gonna have a second comeback very soon as it's getting a rollback netcode update to be able to play this game again on the go with this D-pad. And again, the thing, I'm gonna say it again, you can play competitively with this D-pad, which is something you could never do with the Steam Deck, at least for me. So the game plays great. If you are not a fan of 2D fighting games and you prefer 3D fighters, here's Tekken 7 running on the ROG Ally. Actually running on 1080p again with a mixture of standard and high, and it looks gorgeous. I tried to run it all on high, but it only works 60 frames per second on stages that are empty, like the training stage, for example. As soon as you get to some more crowded stages, that frame rate starts to drop to the 50s. High 40s or low 50s. But if you want a steady 60, which is what you should always aim for, you have to again bring those settings down to standard. Some of them can stay on high and you can still enjoy this game. Can't wait to play Tekken 8 on this thing. Now, a little bit at the end, I wanted to just show some of the 2D classic games. So the King of Fighters 98 UM again plays great, feels great, and it's just what that was expected. Also playing some retro games like the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary, playing my favorite Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the ROG Ally. Just looks and plays amazing. Again, the D-pad is a game changer for me. I had the Steam Deck for over a year, didn't play it much, mainly because the D-pad and also the buttons placement. When I played the games on the Steam Deck, fighting games for a long time, I get cramps on my hands, as I said, both from the buttons and the D-pad placement, which is not the case. Yes, the buttons feel more solid on the Steam Deck, but they're smaller. The buttons on the ROG Ally are bigger. They feel a little bit loose, but again, the whole experience has been really, really great, and I've been really happy with it. So what do you guys think about the ROG Ally? Is that a system that you are interested in? Did you have a chance to try one? I really want to hear your experience if you tried one, as well as your expectations and what you think about the system. Is it something that you want to get down the line, or are you happy to just have a Steam Deck if you have one, or looking forward? What if you haven't bought a portable system yet? Which one are you going to go with? Steam Deck or the ROG Ally? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.